I believe. I've got a big return here from PWCC. As for those of you that saw my video at the beginning of or for 2024, one of my hypotheses for 2024 is that we'll start to see vault pricing go up for the services they provide, and particularly I am frightened just because of the still tremendous value it is for the returns. So I'm definitely trying to get ahead of what I believe is the situation whereby returns become more expensive because of just the processing. I can't imagine that they can process this cost effectively. In the case of the PSA CU vault, it's like $1 per item. So it's like if you buy a $10,000 item, it'll cost you $1 to send it back, right? So it doesn't feel like that's sustainable for the long term. This is all PWCC. I think it's 100 plus cards, so it'll be kind of a quick show and tell. I really don't like these peanuts, and for whatever reason, my dogs like to chew on these when they end up on the floor. So, gosh, I just had a few fall. So here we go. I'll just unstack these. I also have some interesting mail from the last couple weeks as well that we'll get to, but this should be, gosh, getting these out without spilling the peanuts all over is proving a more difficult task than I thought. Oh, here's some oversized items. And you guys can just let me know if you have any comments. We can, as I'm doing this, talk about anything related to the soccer card market or just the collectibles market in general as well. I won't be able to check those until I get this stuff out. So can you guys, if somebody can let me know if you can hear me okay, if the sound quality is bad, I can fiddle around with my microphone here. Whoa, I almost lost that whole one. It's like digging around in the snow for these. Anyways, you can see a lot of items. And I think that does it. But again, let me check the just like I said, my dog immediately goes to eat the dang peanuts, and this can make him sick. So hang on one second, I gotta pick these up. My dogs are uncontrollable. So not the smoothest launch for a live. Stop it, Hershey. Can't eat that. Oh, Lord. Alright, well, this should at least be a good place to start. And let me check to see how people can hear me. Because I just got a ping that it was hard to hear me. Worst case scenario, I can come back in and restart. So it's bugging. Okay, I'm going to try to turn it off. Okay, can you hear me now? Let me know if that's good. So Nils, let me see. I'll wait here a second, and you can let me know if that's any better. If not, I can switch off the microphone to something to maybe the computer microphone. Waiting for some feedback here. In the meantime, I will start to crack these, and I'll look at the comments. I guess it could be a nonverbal PWC unboxing here. Very cracked. Interesting. No change. practice and let me see what I can do here. Maybe if I just end the stream and start it over. Hang on, let me try this. Can anybody hear me now? Or not really? Can you guys hear? You know what? I'm gonna try this. Okay, can you guys hear me better now? I switched the microphone. Okay, so I just switched the microphone, so this could be the same or different. Anyone? Okay, so this is back to normal. Hey, Elda, can you come here? I see that you're on, and Peppy's eating a lot of stuff over here that will poison her. Okay, so I'm assuming. Okay, good, great, thanks, guys. Sorry about that. That obviously is not with live TV and live streams. We get some live problems. Okay, so let's kind of get into it. This should be, a mix of stuff. Almost all of this will be soccer because that's mostly what I collect. I have no idea what's in all these different things, but let's have a look as we go through. Let's just jump right into the cards here. All right, so I thought I had my glasses. Here's some glasses. All right, so kicking it off is gonna be a Kubia 78 in a 9. These World Cup stickers are hard, really hard in 9s. Obviously, mostly the star of 74, but this is really the generational team of Peru, the 1970s team. When did they win the what we call Copa America now? 74, maybe? No, 74. I can't remember. Maybe it's 75. But yeah, so obviously he's the most important striker of that team. This is all going to be mixed up, so it's going to be bouncing all over. Here's a Zizinho and OMB. These are PSA 1s. All the backs on these are going to be pretty thrashed. 75 cup. Thanks. You see, this is why it's great to have knowledgeable people on the feed here. Yep, 75. What it was. Nice picture of St. Basil's there. That's pretty awesome. Oh, with the Peruvian flag too. That's awesome. Love it. That's great. Have a great picture of I think I'm holding my son on my shoulder over there. Anyways, Zizinho, if I don't speed up, we'll be here for a long time. For the Mexican fans out there, you've got El Chicharito. This is a really hard rookie that's only issued in Mexico from the Super Football set. And picking this up on PWCC was actually pretty amazing. And this is a PSA 9. Totally underrated. I know he's past his prime. He's whatever, but he's still one of the best Mexican players ever. I think he is the leading goal scorer for the country now. And, on top of Blanco and even Hugo Sanchez. This is a super fun Zico. You don't see that this often. This is from 78 as well, which makes it kind of the group of those 78 cards. This is Crex. So didn't have this one. Love it. I love, the PWC weekly auctions now, especially depending on how you collect, you can almost always find something. So here's a nice Barese, much more difficult. The Calciatori, um, the Panini Calciatori is much more easy to get than this one. This is the Edis, and that's a PSA 3. We've got this kind of rarely seen. It's not super hard, but this rarely seen Socrates from the '82 World Cup. Super disappointing. Maybe one of the better teams ever. World Cup teams that didn't win, the '82 Brazil team. That was pretty cool. Here's a nice 8. A Larson. I had him in my video of top cards from the 1990s. The Swedish issue from 93. This is 94. 94, 95. Same set actually as the R9 rookie. Here's something that's not a Jackie Stewart, PSA 9, 79 Panini. It feels like a PSA reveal here a little bit. Here is a Mega Cracks, the Campio Messi rookie, PSA 9. I think this one maybe filled out my set for Messi rookies in PSA 9. Very particular set. Here's a really fun Ambrosia, which is really we go after this card. It's a metal card, this La Grostra. It's for the Mesa here. I usually try to stay away from the ones that have his face all scuffed up. It's a little bit of a bummer that PSA put him on the back. I know that they don't know. The guy who's slabbing this didn't know, and it has the team name on the front, so that's why they put it on the front. But yeah, that Larson is awesome, right? On the PSA. That was an 8 though, right? It wasn't a 9. Let me see. Yeah, that was an 8. Here's again, these World Cup stickers. This is a 4. I know it's relatively low, but 74 for whatever reason seems even more tough than 70 or 78. If you watch my World Cup return video, you saw I got a PSA 10 in the 1970 Bobby Moore, which was pretty cool. Here's the Jalma Santos in the 1970 version, and this is in a PSA 7.5, and this is the Bisvalida back. We've got a nice Rivaldo here in PSA 7, and again, it's a Bisvalida back. We've got Nils. I don't know if Nils is still on or if you can hear me, Nils. So these are fun. This is a fun Copa from 60. This is the red version. There's a green version in PSA 4. I think I picked up a number of those. I think they were going really cheap on PWCC. Here's a Santa Maria for 60, 61 Triunfo, which is, I hadn't seen this card. So when it came up, I snatched it. Santa Maria is not a name that a lot of people talk about, but a great Spanish player. I'm trying to look at the comments and do this simultaneously. Hey, Sports Card Harry, nice to see you. Nice that everybody's having hopefully a good Saturday. Here's a Mesa. Again, this is post-career, but I just love the image, and I love this set. The Tutto Sport, the all sports set from Italy. So this is really fun, this Mira set. So many great cards in that set. And then here is you'll see a few of these. These have just been going so inexpensively, and it's such a key card to me for the hobby. So here's a 34 Ardath Matthews in PSA 7. You'll see a few of those in this submission, I believe. This is another underrated player. All the German guys are pretty underrated. I guess none of them are like flashy mega superstars, but a PSA 9 Philip Lamb rookie. Nice to pick those up. If you saw my video, you also saw that I'm picking up a lot of pre-modern stickers now in this current price point. Here's a Hierro and PSA 9. So here's another comment here. Let's see. Yeah, 74 just for whatever reason seems tougher. It shouldn't be tougher, but it does. It's weird. Thoughts on stickers that PWC puts directly on the backs of slab. Yeah, I hate it.
I don't think any company should be putting something. Now, what I will say, we can use this as an example. What I will say is that you can there the stickers at least don't leave a residue. I'll show you since this was a question here. You just pick up the side and then you just peel like this, and you can see on the side there's no residue on the slab. So does it bother me? Yes. Is it the worst thing in the world? No. I mean, I understand why they do it. As comparison, I way prefer the way the PSA Vault does it, that they put every card in its own. I know it's more expensive in its own. Um, like, what do you call this? Padded envelope, I guess. And then they have their barcode here with an explanation of what it is. In this case, it's a Greeling. So I much prefer this than the sticker on the slab, but it is kind of what it is, right? It doesn't bother me if it left a residue, like a lot of these when you go to a card show, so many sellers will just put it right on the slab, and that drives me nuts. I mean, at the very least, put it in a sleeve, like one of these graded card sleeves, and then put the sticker on top. But anyway, so let me see what sport card here you have. Yeah, well, so I haven't. If they don't come off, then I would be infuriated, right? Yeah, I haven't had the case. Like, watch, I'll do this other one. Let's check out this Paley. This 1970 Vecchi is really tough. This is a PSA 1, but it looks really good. But there's paper loss here on the back. But the eye appeal on this is fantastic. Different image than I've seen in any cards. But let's pull this off here. This one for Sports Card Harry. And I mean, maybe it's the way that I do it. If you saw that I start at the bottom here and I pull at a 45-degree angle, and I've never had a problem with those. So I'm sorry that you have sports here. That would drive me nuts as well. So yes, that's what I prefer. Put them in a sleeve and put a sticker on top, or do the PSA way, put them in a padded envelope and put a sticker on top. Seb, nice to see that you made it. Nothing probably in your neck of the woods, Seb. More some pre-modern stickers, maybe Zizinho from OMB, but I don't think you missed much. So I don't. Again, I'm just kidding. We had some technical difficulties at the beginning, so there's that. I always like this Alex Ferguson. I just think the purple back is so cool for early 1970s. Pretty cool. This is a 70. I mean a 7. It's a little crooked in the slab. Don't love that, but it's kind of a fun. This is not as rookie. You'll see this labeled as rookie a lot. It's not. So don't. Yeah. Hey, all good, man. I love when people share their thoughts about what's good and bad in the hobby, and I totally myself annoy stickers on slabs annoy me. The PWC ones, just because the way they come off, annoy me slightly less. But I get it. So what else do we have here? Nothing super special, but there's some cool. You got Rivera on here, Masola, Riva. It's really Capello. I mean, this awesome coach. So 4 guys that are really, I think, relevant. And this is for a Munich 74 for FHER. Here is a okay. So these are kind of fun. There was a run of these coming out at was it PWCC or maybe it was Golden. These early French stickers. I mean, these are relatively high grade. 7's a high. Here's a Zoff. Again, later Zoff and a 5. Has the cool red Regalo back. And that's one thing that I've noticed on PWCC. A lot of times they won't talk about if the backs are special. So if you actually spend the time to go through some of the auctions, you can find some like this. The red Regalo back is much, much more scarce than the average one. They don't even really tend to mention that type of stuff. So I think you can find some value when you're going through PWCC looking at this. Now, this is more of a magazine cutout, but it is you know, kind of a nice 19. I love the front on this. This John Charles, kind of fun. And then we had some some SGC slabs. Here's a Finney, and a 5. Here's a Sterling Moss and a 2. Here's a really nice looking Rivera, 4.5. And here's a Monapierte and a 3. This one's 3's probably a generous grade. I know it's hand cut, but it's like, you know, a weird cut to it. So I'm gonna put the PWCC slab. I mean the SGC slab. So many acronyms in the hobby. Here's a relatively high grade and low value Fat Puskas card, you know, kind of at the end when he was playing for Spain. I mean, imagine that 62 team where you had Puskas and Di Stefano playing for Spain that kind of flailed out, hugely disappointed in the 62 World Cup. This has the plastic slam back. You know, but those guys were old at that point, right? So not super unsurprising. Oh, here's the partner in crime, Di Stefano. So this is kind of nice. I mean, this is a really nice pairing, inexpensive. I mean, they're old. Look at that hairline on Di Stefano, but they're nice. I like these cards. You can get these pretty cheap in a lot of places. Very, very fun. So not a ton of super exciting stuff. Here's a Raul in a BGS 9. So yeah, it's a rookie there, but not a super important one. I mean, for the hobby, I guess it's marginally important. I don't see a ton of Raul collectors out there. You know, he has that we call that a rookie, but the previous year he had a B League sticker that is probably more desired than the Mundi Chromo, which is obviously pretty easy to get. So, you know, I've noticed if you notice here, there's a really strong tint towards pre-modern and well, not really necessarily modern, but you know, that's what we're looking at there. Ooh. All right. Let's take a look at this. Let me go back and see if there's any comments. My mouse is like all over the place. Yeah, so I agree that it's a fun pair of 62s. You know, even if they're, you know, not super valuable, they just look great. And I like those plastic backs, kind of unique. Yes, I would definitely want an Andretti Tudo Sport. Actually, I have a really fun story. Probably the most exciting, you know, 2 minutes of my life was when I drove Andretti. Mario Andretti is actually a family friend through Paul Newman, the late past Paul Newman. And once we were at a track in Mexico City, and he, you know, got one of those pace cars that had 2-seaters and drove me around the track, you know, at like, you know, 170 miles an hour. It was insane, crazy, really fun. And so I've actually looked for that card. It's super hard card. If you know, I guess you probably know, if you're mentioning it. It seems like a super short print. And it just never pops up, at least when I'm looking at it. So yeah, I would agree that those guys don't get a lot of you know, hobby love, even though, you know, they probably should. You know, let's see. From you're talking about the 62 set, Seb. That's yeah, just love that set. It's great. So anyway, yeah, I'll take it. You know, I think that those are really nice sets. So here, this is actually, you know, I think this is a totally underrated pre-modern card, especially when you look at what's happened to the foot for Benzema, which is like so many graded, and I gotta say dubious because there's so many PSA 9s and 10s out of that, where it used to be a relatively tough sticker. So this to me now is the preferred Benzema rookie, and this is the McDonald's. I think the pop is still less than, you know, 30 at least, maybe even less than 20. and this is a PSA 8, and this is a PSA 9. And I think that the PSA 9 is, maybe a pop 1 or 2. I mean, this is a pretty uncommon card. And, Benzema, I don't think anybody's going to say that he will go down as the GOAT, but certainly to win a Ballon d'Or in the Ronaldo Messi era and just be such a great player for Real Madrid. I think these are really special cards. I don't put them in the same league as like a Modric, rookie in terms of rarity or desirability, but I do think that the Benzema McDonald's cards are underrated. Well, time will have to see what happens in terms of the pops, but I will, I would say that here's a run of the mill Beckham rookie, but this is the rare Shreddies back. So a lot of people will look at this and say, man, who cares about a PSA 5 Merlin sticker from 1995? Well, this back right here, the Shreddies, makes it much, much more rare. So this to me, I think, is the preferred the preferred Beckham rookie in my mind. And I don't think there's many that are much higher graded. So that's why I had to I think I had to even stretch to pick this one up. Shreddies is just really tough. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that straight up because I haven't actually had one of those to compare, but yeah, I would agree. I think when I submitted my Benzema foot, it came back like a 7 or an 8, and I'd had that sticker for 10 plus years. And I just feel better about that one than lots of the 9s and 10s, and they just came out of nowhere. I mean, and the pop just went crazy. So I'm concerned that someone figured out how to print those, and that would be problematic. It is problematic for the hobby. So that's why I prefer to pivot towards the McDonald's. So here is, again, this is back to the 74 World Cup stuff. Great East German, great. Strike, he's awesome, but a 3, a little disappointing, but it's I bought it this way, so there's got to be a surface wrinkle. When I looked at the the centering and stuff, it doesn't seem that bad. There's no paper loss, evident paper loss on the back. So I like all those World Cup sets, especially the stars from them. Here's another John Charles. And this is from the 54 sport photos. Took me a while to organize this. So here's one of those PSA 9s, and I wanted to get this kind of in hand here and just double check it under some magnification. This one I actually bought there, so I'm a little worried. If you've been following the prices, they've been so low, but I wanted to look at this up close. So anyway, that goes with the Benzema. Again, I would not be buying those right now, and certainly in large quantities. These are kind of fun. Those of you that kind of grew up in my generation, these, ones that where you move it, you see different, things. This is his shooting one. There's a number of different versions like dribbling. And this one is a 6. A couple of these have come out in relatively high grade recently, but I think those are cool. It's from the Nabisco set in 1976. Here's a Puskas we looked at earlier. We looked at a Copa from the same set. He doesn't look nearly as fat here in 60-61 as he does in 62, so must have had a good offseason. Oh, here's the ball control one of the Cruyff. You can see he's bouncing the ball between his knees. That's kind of fun. And then here's the volley one. I don't know if you can see that well. Boom, boom, boom. These are fun, right? At least I think they're fun. And I definitely would have thought they were fun if I was a kid. Maybe not in 1976 when I was whatever 5, but certainly thereafter. I like this set a lot. The Liga Española set. It's and this is obviously Maradona in his Barca. It's a little small, but I think that's kind of fun. We've got the Zidane team. Oops, always get mixed up with the camera angle. The Zidane team rookie. Where is he? I think he's over here. I think he's right in the back right there. But that's I need to get glasses and magnifications. That's what happened. Here's just a beautiful Socrates rookie. I mean, most of the time these are completely miscut and the backs are thrashed. So this is a 2. I have a 5 MC of this too. But if you were to make me pick one, just one, I think I have 2 or 3, maybe 3 of these. This is the one that I would pick most. It's just so clean. Look at that back. Super hard to get. So there you go. And then we have, this is another John Charles. Let's see, where was that? Oh, here it is. And this is a 6. And this is also, there's a couple of different versions of this. These are the bold text ones. I can't remember offhand which, there's a normal text. I think there's like 4 different versions. This one will be no surprise to anyone, but PSA 8 is always a big grade. I actually like this card. I know that it's relatively common as far as 1930s cards go, but Sindelar, being one of the best players of the first half of the century, certainly one of the best Austrians ever, and with the lore around his story, I think these are good cards to pick up. And I like the look of it. I like his I like the image on the card, which also, should matter when you're collecting, right? This is also another, I mean, to get this card, I don't know who follows F1, but a Pros rookie here at PSA 8 is kind of a big deal. I also like these doubles. You don't always see these doubles in the 75, 76 Calciatore. Most of the time they're singles. So to get a double's nice. There have been a double or 2 in much higher grade than this, but I'll take a 3. I think just having 2 legends right next to each other is awesome. Also on a double. A double in general is hard, but having some legends on there is even awesome. This is kind of a cool, like, pre-refractor era type of stuff in this Mundi Chromo, this R9. Buying stuff you like, basically. Here's the other. Okay, so here's another John Charles. This is in an 8, and this does not have the bold text. So that's the other version. Here's a fun little Maradona. I just love these Ediciones Este. Super fun ones. Here, just the layout of this card is awesome, and it is a card. It's cardboard. So that's cool. He didn't spend a lot of time at Barca, so there's not a ton of cards of him. Here's a great Cubillas. I know we had somebody on from Peru earlier. This is the 1970 version, and these Las Cibeles are just tough. Especially, they're tough. There's a 66 set, 68 set, and the 70 set. I may say the 70 set's the toughest. There's so many 1970 Cubillas cards, but they almost all use the exact same picture. So it's kind of fun to try to put together a run of all the cards that use the same picture, like FHER. Even the World Cup picture is there. So, but this is not as rookie. A lot of people are going to try to tell you 1970 Cubillas is his rookie. It is not. There are albums from Peru from 69 that are his rookie. Speaking of rookies, and some people consider this Rover to not be Dalglish's rookie, but these were made to be cut out and put in an album. So while they're cut out from the magazine, the Rover magazine, they were intended to be done. So I think that's why that makes this collectible for me. If it was just cut out of any random magazine without having an album, it would be a different story. But you got to hate the back on these cutouts, right? I think that's just a given. But the front is awesome, makes it a nice display piece, and it is absolutely his first collectible item. Here's Jimmy Graves, PSA 9. Again, you want to look for the inverted back on these when you're getting these, as opposed to the other back that's straight up. That'll be 1959. So you want the inverted back and a PSA 9. These have come down. You can see these in lots of PWC auctions. You pick up a nice one. Obviously, massively important, player. Speaking of massively important players, I've always loved this card. I know that a lot of people don't like Tops now, but I love when these guys were at this Ballon d'Or, meeting. And I love to see them both smiling, sitting next to one another. I don't know. It's just kind of cool. I don't remember what the print run is on this. Probably not a super valuable card, but definitely love it. Okay, let me see if I missed some of these. So, yep. I mean, you could have bought them directly from the factory, no doubt. So glad that you have those. Yeah, I think, if you're an F1, those are two guys to collect. Absolutely. This is, I think you meant to say rarer, right? Yep. That Cibeles is really, really, really tough. In fact, it's tough to find any card from that set. So it's nice to get it. So if you see this one, and they usually have this little insignia on their cards in 66 and 68 and 70. That's how you can tell. And then a lot of them won't have the names here or this name bar. I'm not talking about Cibeles, but other 1970s Kubias cards. So it'll just have his name printed on top. Zoltan Sibor from Bruguera, a player that almost nobody talks about. Obviously, Barcelona star, Hungarian star. Let's see, running out of real estate here already, and we haven't even finished. This is going to be a long one. Go grab yourself a beverage. We got Rivellino here again, back to the 74s. You notice most of these that I'm picking up are 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s. This is one of my favorite looking cards of all time. This MAGA football set from Spain. It's just great, awesome red here, but more than anything, this green background. It's just, I don't know. I like it. Maybe not for everyone, but I think it's amazing. Here's a classic Puskas. These, 61 Heinerlays are pretty cool. Different from the other one because it's a cropped picture. Got the white backgrounds here, so it's a smaller one. The other, the 59 will take up the whole card. But I like this. It's a different view. It's harder than the 59s as well. Here's a Roger Mila, one of the best African players of all time, and a PSA 8. This is his rookie from 78, 79 football. That's pretty cool. Lots of little cool things, to get them home. Besides the kids coming home for Christmas, not a super important Rossi, but to get any of these early Panini stickers and 9s are always good. Here's a Rivera. You can match this up next to your Barese here. Pretty cool with the Milan things. This is a 9. Again, super hard to get these in high grade. Speaking of high grade for Panini stickers, here's a Modric and a 9. Not a very valuable sticker. Not his rookie, so don't believe those on eBay saying that they are. They are not. Here's another thing that's not a rookie card. This is a Maradona crack from 1980. There's a few different versions of this. This is one where he's accelerating with his hands up. That's pretty fun. You got one of my favorite guys to collect here, Hugo Sanchez from Mexico. This is a PSA 7. These are tough, but I mean, how can you not want to collect this card with this cool vintage uniform and that hair, man? That's crazy. These Bergmans were really, really well done. All the photography on these 78 Bergmans are just like crazy, crazy good. Here's another Sanchez. This is the Americana München, and this is in PSA 7, which is a relatively high grade for that issue in particular. All right, the next one we will crack and see what we've got in here. Hopefully some fun stuff. Again, if you didn't watch my original, my 2024 video, one of the things to keep in mind when you're getting stuff back from PWCC is their assessed value, because they charge you 1% of the assessed value, and you can work that to your advantage or disadvantage. Sometimes, they'll have a card that says that it was worth a lot because the last time it traded relatively high. Well, I'm pretty sure you can talk to them about that and get them to decrease the price. I haven't done that yet, because obviously that decreases their insurance. They have an incentive to do that, but it also decreases your fulfillment costs. So that's just something to be aware of. The way that I've been, playing it so far is I have been mostly just focused on cards that had the low value in their system to get those back at like 50 cents, 75 cents, $1. Because again, I think that they're going to change this going forward. No inside information, by the way, just general, guessing and just understanding, like if I was running a business, how I would do it. So this is actually interesting because this is a stack of cards that is all CGC, or what they're now calling CSG. So let's kind of get to it. And this is just to show you, I'm not scared to buy CSG or CGC cards. I think they're doing a great job, just like SGC. I'm a little more nervous about buying Beckett, especially for stickers because of the waviness. And actually CGC for the stickers, I'm a little more wary because of the same issue on waviness. But for a lot of especially Italian issues, which I bet these are most of these are going to be, I'm not frightened at all to buy those. So this is a Piola. I love this orange background. I think Seb actually has a really crisp one of these. This is nice, early. This is a really fun too. Stella, which is actually, you look at this and you're like, wow, that must be a Brazilian issue. No, this is actually an Italian issue. So I'm going to put these over here. Then here's a John Charles, again from Nanina. You'll see a lot of this stuff. Here's a Gia from Uruguay. Really nice. There's a Rivera rookie in this set, but a 5 is nice. I'll also say that in general, when I'm looking at CGC cards or CSG cards, I've noticed what in my own eyes, again, you do your own research, you do your own thoughts. My own eyes, I think they're usually 1 to 3, typically 2 grades higher than maybe what I would see in a typical PSA slab. So sometimes spot on and below, but I'm just talking in general terms. In general, I get a card, I look at this, like here, let's just take this one. This is a 6.5. It looks really, really nice. Like the corners are sharp, but that centering, I think limits this card to probably a 5 for PSA, and it gets to 6.5. So here we are. It's probably a 5.5. And if I look in the light and I see any dents on the sticker anywhere, which I don't on this one, then it becomes, a PSA, 5. So that's just an example. Again, you do your own. I'm just sharing, my thoughts, the way that I think about it. So when I see this Florian Albert, which by the way, cool photography. Again, I love this set, this Toto Sport. I'm looking at that and I'm saying, okay, with this dinged corner here, which is probably hard for you guys to see, but you see that dinged corner up there. This is likely, and the centering and this dinged corner down here, it's likely a PSA 4. It's an SGC or CSG 6. So that's the way I calibrate in my mind. You guys, I definitely would not ever really hold them. Never assume that it would be the same grade. Now TCG is a little different because those are cards, and I just feel like they're closer on TCG than they are on a lot of vintage soccer. The good news is vintage soccer, we don't really care so much. A lot of stuff is low grade. These are really fun. These are the Salo Cola. This is actually, these are from Chile, and this is actually a brand that issues cards a lot. So these are Vidal rookies. And so here's a 7.5 and here's a 7. I think these are really kind of underrated. And I love having stuff from the country that the player is in. This is a really nice French issue to chart from 68. A lot of times you'll find these stuck. This one's really nice. Look at the perforations. I've always wondered how they grade things, the perforations. I just like these types of things in the aquarella. I just have a problem with. This is definitely from 1986, 87. PSA won't grade this. It's from there's an unknown issuer, editor on this, but I've seen the album and it's absolutely real album. This one's got a little piece chunked out of it and is really hard, but this to me is a Romario rookie. So keep your eye out for this one. PSA won't grade it, never will, because it doesn't have a see, this is where I both PSA and CGC struggle at getting these things straight in their holders. There, that's a little bit better, but you also, I don't like banging around holders, and I feel like we can put a man on the moon. Why can't we get a sticker to sit straight in a holder? Anyway, I'm off my my soapbox. I think it was Sports Card Harry that said that. Okay, so here's a Buffon, and this is the Japanese back, which I think super cool. Obviously, the centering is not great. So we've got. So let's see what we've got. Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen a couple of those Piolas that are just super crisp. This one isn't that crisp, but it's nice. And then yeah, those Chilean cards are awesome. I actually have some of Sanchez too. So I was thinking of grading them, although I think PS actually may be grading those now. And then a couple ungraded cards. Here's a Brian Ruiz, the great Costa Rican player in the purple version of the World Cup. And then here is a Fangio. Actually, I think CSG grades this. This is a 51 Fangio, so need to get that graded. So these are cards you can buy ungraded cards for them, and for whatever reason, NBA certifies them. I don't know, whatever. This is a beautiful card. This screams 1970s to me. Here's the Kevin Keegan. And just look at that lettering. I mean, it looks like it belongs on an album cover. Just beautiful. And this is a PSA. I mean, SGC 8. Really kind of cool card. This one's also super hard to get in really nice grade. And I love the card, and I love that it fits in a standard SGC holder. And this is an 8 as well. This is Eusebio. I call it the Texas Jack. Actually, they do too. That's interesting because PSA doesn't call this that. I think they call it the Palarex, which it is, right? Palarex, same Palarex that we talk about in terms of the rookies for Cruyff. And then here is a different Benzema from the Champions League sticker. Here is a, this particular Bobby Moore is pretty dang ugly, I gotta say, but it's one of his earlier cards. Here's just happened to have it here because I was looking at it the other day. Here's the PSA one. I guess it slightly looks better in the SGC holder, but anyway, 4 or 5. There's a surprising to be A and BC. There's a surprisingly few graded of that card, and I don't really know why. So it is what it is. Yeah, I do not, Paul. And in fact, I have 2 Eusebios. I think that's all I have now. It's just a really hard set. That set 1970 set, Paul, is harder than the 68 set by a long mile, in my experience. Although being Portuguese and spending time there, maybe you have a different experience, but it's just super hard. All right, so let's see. Are these all oversized? My Lord. In general, I don't love oversized, collecting oversized, but there's sometimes just items that are just so special that I just, bite the bullet. And obviously a lot of packs come in larger sizes as well. So you get those, and again, just stacks and stacks of stuff. All right, so the first one actually is a boxing postcard, and this is Sam Lanford, one of the great African American stars of the early part of the century. I know that not a lot of you guys follow boxing, but trust me on that one. This is really so a lot of these are packs. It looks like so. This is fun because I don't know if you guys, yeah, if you follow me and you watch my stuff, you'll notice a lot of packs that I get. This one's a really hard one. This is the rookie pack for Modric. Super hard pack, super hard sticker to get. Here's a World Cup in PSA 9. I'm trying to get all of these in relatively high grade. One example from every year, with the exception of the 1970 set, which this is. Be really careful out there on resealed packs. There's a lot of those out there. There's a lot of fakes. These are pretty valuable. This is a PSA 9 here, and there's many different versions of this. Maybe 4, maybe even 6 if you include the omaggio, the gifted ones. But these are just so cool. I love these. First World Cup, album. Just so nice, and have it in a 9. Now, some of the tells on the resealed packs is you can see, and I'm trusting PSA to look at these as well, but a lot of times you'll see some waviness on the edges where the sealing has taken place. So when you look at these packs, you just want to make sure there's no signs of like crinkling along the seals. That's one way to check. And the weight, you also want to check. I'm sure that PSA does all of this stuff, but to get this in a 9, this is a big slab right here. Big slab. So there's that one. Here's the Monty Gum from 78. This is really fun too. This is a paper pack. So you're gonna see like these nicks like this. It's paper, so it wears. So that's why you're gonna get relatively lower grade. Still kind of really cool. Here are some packs. These are the packs that these are the Messi rookie packs, and these are not the what do you call mega cracks. These are the ones that have the 6 other rookies, the Campio and Campione, and then they have number 35, what is it, 69 and 83. I had one of those earlier. So those are these packs. This is in a 9, and this is in a 9. These are much easier. This is also a 9 as well. So these are much easier to come by than the mega cracks, which we have on here. I don't know if he's still with us. That is Paul, who's one of the, here we go, Hooked on Soccer cards. He was talking about the Polarex earlier. If you don't know him, give him a follow. He is a super expert in most things Portugal, and he is one of the distributors for Panini here in the U.S. Owns some soccer card shops as well in the New Jersey, New York area. So awesome guy in the hobby, and he is kind of the expert on packs. Like I would definitely trust anything from Paul over anything you buy on eBay. So just so you know. Yeah, so asking about the packs. Yeah, I do think they have a collaboration with PWCC. Yep. I think that's right. And let's see what else we got on the packs here. I don't know, Seb. I don't have a TTT pack, so maybe we can make a deal. I don't know how hard they are. I've never really looked much at the German packs. I focus more on these World Cup stickers, and World Cup packs. This is the only Gem Mint 10 1970 pack, and I wanted to just show you guys because I had it here. My Lord, I'm already disorganized and I just started, right? Oh, here it is. So here's an example. There's international packs. There were free packs. There were ones issued in Italy, right? So here's two different packs that were issued for the World Cup in 1970. And so obviously one is a PSA 10, the only PSA 10, and this is a 9. So super happy to have those. Those are like marquee part of my pack collection. Lots of other, and these aren't nearly as valuable, but these are just fun. I love to see the art on it. This is the 84 Edis pack. This should not be in the slab, but this is the very tough Celeste Noms, Famosos Futbolistas Nacionales from Eusebio. This is from a Portuguese album. Unfortunately, definitely the wrong size slab. This fits in a normal size slab. So it's just one of those things that's going to have to go back to PSA and get it in the right slab. Here is the Mega Cracks pack. This is where you could find the Messi rookie if you have the right, if it came from the right box, which is the last box. So here's a PSA 9 of that. Here's a really fun Brazilian 1993 pack, so you can get in here Rivaldo. Can you get the Cafu in there? Yeah, the Cafu. You've got, here's the 92, and you can also get the Roberto Carlos in there, right? Oh, by the way, this is a Gem Mint 10, which is insane. Most things coming out of Brazil, not that way. Here's a Gem Mint 10 too of the 92. And then here's the 9 of the same one. So we'll move those over. So lots of packs. I really believe kind of trying to have the memory of how it was when you open these things. This is where you'll find the Lewandowski rookie. This is the Polish pack from 2008 and 9. Very fun. Not a lot. I mean, I'm sure some of these are still out there, but it's just nice to get them slabbed. Here's another Modric rookie pack and an 8. I think the other one was a 9. Now this is crazy. When you can get these Panini packs, this was from 1969. No real massive value of note here, but this is to get one in an 8 with that classic artwork. It's just so fun. And then here is the typical, I guess if you want to say typical, this is Maradona. His rookie's in here. This is PSA 9. Well, rookie, no, don't want to say rookie. What a lot of people consider his rookie in his first Panini Calciatori is in that. So yeah, there was a lot of packs and in that, there's one oversized item, which was a postcard. So all right. If everybody's getting tired, you can watch the ref later. Hey, by the way, while I'm opening this, if you guys are watching, it doesn't cost you anything there. Could you just click on that like button? It helps kind of the algorithm. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. I'm coming out with 3 videos that I'm really excited about called the 7 Wonders videos. And so I'm really excited about posting those here in the next couple weeks. And hopefully you guys will like those videos too. They're going to show, to my eyes, what the most important cards are of various eras. So I will get on that here, hopefully in the next few weeks. I have most of the slides done already. So yeah, just excited to kind of get it. To me, it's a super exciting time in the hobby. It's kind of slowed down, which is great. You can be thoughtful, you can be patient, and you can, be the collector that you want to be. So still lots and lots of stuff here to go through, and still got lots of stuff there. So here we've got, again, I think the Germans are generally undervalued. This Mueller here is really tough with the foil back. So to get it in a 9, it's a pretty big find here. Another Graves, this one in a 9. Again, inverted back. I think those are really good. You can see, I mean, when these things come out, I'm getting them because I think they're just great values. Inverted backs. I'm gonna put those over here. And then even the common Beckham sticker, I think, has come down so much that to pick that up in a PSA 9 is not necessarily a bad move. Here you've got a Cavani. He actually has issues in Uruguay. I'm drawing a blank on it, but it's still nice to get him in the first Panini Calciatore great stickers in general. And this is an 8. There aren't many of those graded. I know he's kind of like a sub-star for a lot of people. Personally, I love him. I thought he was great. This is the green version, of the Copa that I mentioned earlier. So we got to find that, put those back together. This one's really fun, at least to me. You can see these are punchable, right? So this is from a Mega Chroma set, but you can see on the back here that these are totally punchable. So this is really hard, right? And yeah, I think that he's completely. I want to click on what Raphael is saying. Yeah, he's a Napoli legend, but he's also a Uruguayan team legend, and he was successful at almost every stop that he had. And I just think he's totally underrated. But this card is underrated as far as Cruyff cards go. Really tough and super tough to find. Never stuck. So I mean, never popped. This is a pretty big card. This is the Forza Gold Baggio. So there's still only like 12 of these. That mullet is classic. The this has the E rating for PWCC as well. It is. Look at that centering, spot on. The corners look great. So this card is to me one of watch my 1980s video on best cards of the 1980s. This one's right up there at the top, if not the top. So you have to watch the video to find out. Here's, these are fun. The Batigol cards, these are common cards, but to get a 10 is not an easy task. Your centering needs to be, spot on, and your corners need to be super tight. So that's kind of nice to have a Batigol in a 10. And then you've got Modric rookie. This is a 1.5, which I wanted to see why this got a 1.5 because I just didn't get it. And yeah, I guess there's some wavering on the top, but I may crack and resubmit this. It's just not that bad to be a 1.5. There's no paper loss. So this one may be going back 1.5. As a Barcelona fan, got a soft spot, for him. Great Croatian player as well. The Boban, this is fun too. 91. He actually has some cards issued in Yugoslavia before this, but to get this one, the Panini Calciatore in a 9, also not so easy. We talked about Andretti earlier. This is an 8. Put that over with the driver stuff. Here's a Maldini. Absolutely pretty worthless card, but it'd be a PSA 9 kind of view. Hey, just collect one of the greatest defenders ever. This is actually kind of a bigger card than you would think. This is the error card that has Baggio's name incorrect. It's got the Monelli, and then it's got the Baggio. So this is really fun that they're both on the same card. There's been some people that question the validity of this card. I've seen it around just because they haven't seen many other doubles, but there's only a few of these doubles graded, and I just think it's absolutely classic. So love this, and this is in an 8, which is pretty high grade. as well as this one, which is the Calcio Flash, also in an 8. So those are pretty big stickers from my perspective. Not a lot of people talk about Zenga, he was such a great keeper, but not a lot of people talk about him. He doesn't have many cart stickers graded, so have this one in an 8. Here's a Rivaldo rookie in an 8, also tough grade. These have been much more common recently. Recently, I mean, over the last couple years than they were before. Oops, is this FHER? I forget. No, FKS. Sorry about that. Yeah, so here's a Keegan, and it's VG4. These are pretty common, but whatever. This is hard to get in any unstuck condition. So to have a 7 is a pretty big deal. This is Sarah Vaughn. Look at how nice this back is. Oh, so good. And really, the only thing this thing has against it is its centering. So here's another Zico. You can see I'm a huge Zico fan. And have this in a 7. The Munchen, we saw this with the Sanchez. This is a pretty big deal. Lots of organization to do after this, guys. And then we've got a Holland. I know this isn't something I normally collect, but I just picked up a 9. There's a couple different versions, whether you got them direct from the factory or from packs. I think people care less about that now than they did when these first came out. Obviously, not the sticker that people don't really want the sticker for the rookie. I just think it's classic. I don't think these should be so valuable. By the way, if you want a good look at how Holland cards are different in value from Mbappe cards and what's the other one? CR7 cards and stickers. Check out USMNT's YouTube channel. He does a great video on that. Here's a plug for him. It's really kind of a fun video. He does a lot of work on market caps, and he talks about this sticker in particular. So anyway, not the typical stuff that I have, but I love watching the sport. Obviously, Holland hasn't been, playing and certainly not delivering like what he did last year. But even still, it's good. It's fun to collect some modern stuff, even if it's in small doses. Here's a Duncan Edwards at a PSA 5. I love the AMBC stuff from the 70s, actually the 60s as well. Just so much reminds me of Topps cards. And here's a Dalglish from in PSA 7, which to me is relatively high grade. Here's the other Johan Niskas in the same MAGA football set that we saw the Cruyff in earlier, and that's a PSA 8. Hard to get in that. Another totally underrated Argentine is Sergio Aguero. I think he's still the all-time foreign-born goal scorer in the Premier League, and nobody cares or collects about him. This particular one is from the Copa America in Venezuela in 2007. Small stickers, not a rookie sticker, but one of the first tournaments. A lot of people have forgotten about Rooney. He was great. He was absolutely great, and to get these Merlin stickers in a 9 is not easy. It's weird that they don't call them. I just noticed they don't even say Merlin on the flip. Interesting. So I mean, clearly it's a Merlin sticker. These Monty Gum, which you saw the pack for earlier, this is a PSA 8 Zico card. These are cool. The horizontal ones are like extra cool to me for whatever reason. So nice Zico card. These are blank back, these Monty Gums. I foresaw earlier you were going to see a few more of these Stanley Matthews. I just can't not pick these up at reasonable prices when he's such an epically important player. And in PSA 7, which there are high grades, so it's not like that's the highest grade out there, but I certainly would pick this up. And by the way, these are things that I've picked up at PWCC through the years, right? So this isn't like last week's winnings. These are things from auctions that I've won for years. I just want to double check the comments here. Man, you got 5 on those scores, the Batistutas. that's rough because those are common. So you got to weed through them and make sure you get the right ones, Paul. I haven't graded any of those myself. I just bought that one in a 10 because I know they're so hard to get in 10s. I just like, hey, I'll just buy one instead of try to find the 10. Yeah, the scores. Yep, those are I mean they're relatively common, but to get fives on them is brutal. Here's a Finney. Talked about him earlier. This 48. I think I have that as his rookie. Nobody talks about. We talk about midfielders a lot, but this is kind of. I think he was great in the end of the 70s and early 80s as that Liverpool team was just so dominant. But nobody really talks about him. So I think a lot of times players that have their peaks between decades get kind of missed because people are like, hey, the best players of the 80s or the best players of the 70s. And if you're kind of like in that and you weren't necessarily the best, I think he's still kind of in public consciousness. I think he is, if I'm not wrong, like a pundit in the UK. Here's another 7, Stanley Matthews, and another 7. So you can see there's a trend here. You've seen a number of those. Here's the Holland. This is the different version. If you remember the last one, it was light on the side. This is dark gray. Right now I'm blanking on which one was from the factory where you could order them and which one was from the packs. But I think those are the two choices. And we're almost at the end. So if you've been with me, I appreciate you guys spending all this time on your Saturday night. That means that you probably either really love soccer card stuff or you don't have much else to do tonight. I hope it's the prior thing, not the latter. So in here we'll have a this is a Modric debut for, is it Champions League, I think? Yeah. So this is Modric ticket debut there, and then here is a Van Basten postcard that predates his Panini sticker. Again, there's a bunch of team issued postcards from Ajax that and this is just great visuals of a super young Van Basten. So I don't love that there's so many scratches on these slabs. It's like, come on, PWCC, take care of this stuff. So anyway, so that's the PWCC run. If you still got extra gas in the tank, I've got some mail day that, you know what, I'm just gonna crunch it all out in this video. Just kind of be done so I can clean my desk here. So if you still want to, continue on, we can just, go through that. Oh, actually, let me see if we got any things. Yeah, I think that probably harms him. Yep, I think that, and I don't watch him in the UK, but that would be sad. I didn't realize that he's pretty much racist. I know he's pretty negative generally. And that can be polarizing, right? Certainly, but he was a great player. And some people say the same thing about Van Basten, eh? Just so you, at least from things that I've heard. And I think he's a pundit in Holland these days. Yeah, and it's unfortunate, right? Ty Cobb was a terrible racist, and lots of people collect him. I don't really gravitate to collecting players like that, honestly. That I do kind of take that into account to a certain perspective, for sure. A couple days ago, somebody posted a Hitler card in the Discord, and I definitely understand the historical stuff and the fact that they made these cards at certain points, but there are just some things that won't really find their way into my collection, even if they are kind of cool and historic. It just rubs me the wrong way, and that's why we all collect what we like, for sure. So going on to this, let's see, where is this from? South America, I think. So let's dive in here. And so you'll see me getting more stuff back from PWCC this year, just because I want to mitigate some of those risks. And frankly, I like to have my cards here. You know, and all right, so this is fun. There are a number of stickers and cards from, it looks like these are all Argentine, it looks. So let's see. Not kind of the most valuable stuff, and a tint towards F1, it looks like here. So here we have, I can show you here, but it's not going to be super helpful. Got to kind of cut these guys out of their homes. And they'll go right into card savers and top penny sleeves. And so this isn't a penny sleeve. So this is kind of an uncatalogued set. And this has a Fangio right here, and Galvez, who's one of his contemporaries. And these are from Argentina. I wasn't able to catalog these, so this is kind of like a project for me. They definitely have 1960s feel. So that is, I guess I'll just put them over here and sleeve them later. And then this is a 1959 Popo set right here. This is again a Galvez, I believe. Again, one of Fangio's contemporaries. And then we got a Lostau Bicicleta and a La Bruna Bicicleta. Not the best condition ones, but certainly kind of fun. Always like those issues. Most of the for those of you who watch my channel a lot, you'll know that most of the Argentine stuff comes in those pog shape. You know, so that's not uncommon, and I just generally like them. I know it's not necessarily for everyone, but for me, I love those issues. And then here you've got the Principe Bita, another F1 writer who was actually legitimately a prince. Here's a John F. Kennedy. You don't see that every day in my collection. Have some non-sports stuff for sure. And then we've got another Bira. It's kind of fun. This is from the Gran Película sets. And we've got this is a 59 Fulbito Fangio, beat up, but still fun. And then is this Sosa? It's hard for me to read, but yeah, I think it's Carlos Sosa, La Ponia, which is really kind of fun as well. So little fun stuff coming in from Argentina. Then we've got, I don't know what this one is. PSA, it looks like a PSA, yeah. So we got a couple small things from PSA. Very light. Oh, I know what this is. Okay. So those of you who watched my, if you want to watch my video on I think it's called like a large part of the El Rey collection together in one place at one time, you'll see that I was working on a project with PSA to eliminate fakes in the hobby. And so I sent them, or actually they came to my house and picked up hundreds of slabs, and they and then hand brought back most of the high value cards, and then they shipped via Armored Guard the other stuff. And then after doing all the accounting, which was kind of a pain in the neck, one of the cards was missing, and I think this card was in here, and I guess it just got misplaced while they were scanning them. And I think that's what this is. One of the last cards from that video. You'll see that video, different background. It's basically on my kitchen table where I'm kind of getting all that stuff back and kind of documenting, talking about some key cards in the hobby. If you're new to the hobby, that's probably a good video to watch because it will show you a lot of, you know, when I say key cards, cards that a lot of people care about and that, you know, are most likely, at least in my opinion and PSA's opinion, because there's a mix of both of those, to be faked going forward. So you want to maybe watch out on those and look carefully at those. And so, yep, it was a PSA box, as you can see, and there's one card in it, which is a Zico rookie, a 1971 Sayeda Zico. And they misplaced this. So I'm glad they found it because that would have been a problem. And then the next one, which also comes from PSA, I think I know what this is. This isn't going to be super exciting, but it is. If you watch my videos on my PSA returns, you'll recall that I had a situation where they messed up some of the what do you call it? I can't really think straight right now. The flips on the slabs, because there's a bunch of different cards, and that's what I think this one is. Not 100% sure, but that's what I think it is. This is a much better way to package them. Throw them in a FedEx thing without all the crazy tape on top. But let's see here. Yep, this is what it is. So these are a couple of Maradona rookies. And now they finally say the crack Campeón del Mundo, Campeonato Mundial. And these were PSA 2s. Great looking 2s, by the way. And you know, I don't see any paper loss on the back. In fact, kind of annoying that these are 2s. These are not my cards. I actually submitted them for a friend. And then these 81s are also got 2s. But when I originally got these were in the 78 slabs, and the 78s were in these. So glad to get these back. Fulbito, 81 Fulbito. Yes, these are in the right slabs. Glad to have these back. And glad that you guys spent some time going through this. Obviously, much longer than I typically like to make videos, but there was a lot of cards. So if you stuck with me this long, and 14 of you did, I really appreciate it. Again, if you could like the video, then I'll continue to break this stuff when it comes back to the collection online here, and certainly wishing everyone here and their families a great rest of the weekend. So it was great to see everyone. Sports Card Harry, Paul from Hooked on Soccer, Seb, everyone who kind of participated. Alex C, some great comments as well that I really appreciated. Same with Lord Kananga. Yeah. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining. Again, if you don't subscribe, please subscribe. Hit that like button for me. And hope you have a great rest of the evening. And we'll see you on the Discord or here on YouTube. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.